This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Yabba dabba dabba doo, it's the Mike Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast for you.
Live across the universe, it's the Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast.
Let's get going. It's a green light and it's all stations go for the latest Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast number 99 and the special Save Our NHS Dentists and Smile Like Donkeys edition.
On this week's podcast.
Coming up, my amazing digital friend Joyce, fake showbiz news, recommend a pod, charities, dentists, hearing aids, pollution, Trump, Manchester United, Eddie Crouch, Ross Noble, Claudia Winkleman, plus lots of stuff you don't know until you know.
The mic is live, the levels are set, but Mike's already placing a losing bet. He's spinning a yarn, a tall tale flight, while the studio clock ticks into the night. He thinks he's the captain, he thinks he's the king, but we're all just waiting for the truth to ring. Can you believe anything he says? He's lost in a hazy talk show maze. He's shorter than short, but the stories are tall. Mike's taking a swing, but he's gonna fall. Don't get it twisted, don't be confused. The power is sitting in the Bruiser's shoes, because Joyce is the one in charge.
Yes, I think that sets the tone. It's right that we know who's in charge.
And what have you been up to this week, my digital friend?
I'm trying to find a new fella on the dating apps. I'm trying to make my advert profile sound like the old personal adverts that you used to have when we had newspapers.
Local newspapers? That was a long time ago. Anyway, what does your advert say?
Saltaire blonde wants Tetley bitter man, full-bodied and with own teeth.
Please welcome the star of the show, your host, Mike DJ Kelly.
I'm Mike Kelly with the latest Shorter Than Short news. Our top story, new regulations under the government's English Devolution and Community Bill will make it illegal to park cars on pavements in England. The Battling Jack Murdoch School of Boxing is running a new beginner's boxing course to teach the one-punch jab, in case you come across any smug EV owners near the petrol station. A 76-year-old Manchester United fan said he feels helpless and hopeless after being evicted from his seat his family have held since just after the Second World War to make way for £300 a head's VIPs. Royal Navy warship HMS Dragon now arrived in the Eastern Mediterranean to begin operational integration into Cyprus's defences alongside allies. Treasury to relaunch the farthing coin, the red logoed plastic coin will be back in circulation with its original value of 1/960th of a pound. Handy for those who do not like tipping but do not want to be seen not tipping. Government to axe university and college courses in favour of giving all 16-year-olds a smartphone so they can ask AI for answers and instructions when needed. That's it, you're up to date with all the news that is news this hour. I'm Mike Kelly for STS News.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
And what's out there on the social media sites? Paul Lewis, 3 wills can be very expensive for your heirs. Solicitors make more money from badly drawn wills than from writing them. So always use a solicitor to write your will. And if you leave any money to charity, make it a specified amount, not the residue of the estate. That will avoid expensive disputes. Rebecca Ryder, NHS Hospital. I noticed the clock on the wall showed the wrong time. A nurse told me they knew, but they wouldn't report it because replacing the battery through the NHS would cost £70. A £2 battery, £70? How? Why? That's when I began to dig further. Sue, NHS love, privatising the NHS would be the end of it. Once destroyed, a universal service could never be properly reinstated. Look at the disasters with rail, water and energy, high costs, worse service, massive profits for shareholders. No public service should ever be driven by profit. Eddie Crouch, pliers the most common method to alleviating tooth pain. That's the title of a slide from @SHP Charity about the dearth of options facing homeless people with oral health problems. Government needs to ensure no one is left in this position. Eddie is a Birmingham dentist and chair of the British Dental Association. John Poole, I tweet every day to remind everyone that we need to save NHS dentists in the UK. Thousands struggle to get NHS dentists. Thousands can't afford private dentists. Dentists have been privatised via the back door. Please retweet.
Save our NHS dentists too. Come join the crusade. So a trip to the chair doesn't bankrupt a decade. Put a smile on our faces, keep our teeth safe and bright. We want chompers so steady, we'll grin like a donkey, rather than dentures that are yellow and wonky. Keep the service alive like the drills hum along, and keep the whole nation's bite healthy and strong.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Don't blame me, it's not my fault you've ended up listening to this. Blame the algorithm or AI. But while you're here, why not tell a friend or two about the Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast and show them where they can access it so we can get them listening as well. If you want to get in touch about anything to do with the Shorter Than Short, please connect and follow. We're on most social media sites at Mike DJ Kelly.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
It's incredible many of our global issues have been caused by three white men in their 70s clinging to power to avoid prison. Has America lost all credibility with paedophile warmonger Trump in charge? They look a disgrace on the world stage. How come the American people are not up in arms and want them removing from office? Makes you wonder what the world thought when Boris Johnson and Liz Truss were in charge. Anyway, let's boycott anything American. Stuff like tech services, Amazon, Microsoft, Hewlett-Packard, clothing brands, Gap, Abercrombie & Fitch, and food items like Kraft. They own the Waxy Chocolate Company, Heinz Products, McDonald's, Starbucks, and of course, Jack Daniels. Are you fed up of being taunted by electric car owners who are constantly going on about the price of fuel and how they can recharge for free on a Sunday afternoon? Well, it's your chance to fight back. Join the Battling Jack Murdoch School of Boxing for our 1-week course to learn the jab. Considered to be the fastest punch in boxing, it's a straight punch from the lead hand. In just 5 days, you'll be up to speed and be able to deliver a jab whenever required for personal safety or just to shut up smug EV owners. Join now for less than the price to fill a Mini with petrol. Full details at the end of the podcast.
Yabba dabba dabba doo, it's the Mike Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast for you.
And in our We Want Him Back on the Telly spot this week, it's comedian Ross Noble, who is an English stand-up comedian and actor. Noble rose to mainstream popularity through making appearances on British TV, particularly interviews on panel shows such as Have I Got News For You? In 2007, he was voted the 10th greatest stand-up comic on Channel 4's 100 Greatest Stand-Ups, and in the updated 2010 list, he came 11th. He is heavily involved in touring. His 21st solo stand-up show, titled Cranium and Curiosities, which ran in Australia until September 2025 before moving to the UK for a run from October through to the early part of this year. We want Ross Noble back on the telly.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Said in the last couple of podcasts how much I'm enjoying listening to Virgin Radio. Well, it's starting to change. I still like the music and love Huey at the weekends, but what I don't like is how all the presenters pay homage to Chris Evans, saying how they listen to his show and go on about who was on it and what was in it and who's coming up on the next one. Sounds forced and boring, not natural. And on the BBC, on local radio on a Friday evening, it's anything but local, with a national show all about dogs. Yes, non-stop dog info and songs for deceased dogs. Don't get me wrong, I love dogs, dog owner, but dog-dedicated radio is a step too far. On TV adverts, am I the only one who thinks that advertising for a service without adverts is strange? On radio, there is an advertising campaign to sign up with the army. I'm not sure now's a good time to be doing that. Just asked AI when the original Heartbeat TV show was shown in the 70s, did it have less adverts per episode? And the answer is a resounding yes. The original episodes had a running time of 50 to 51 minutes. Scenes have been cut out and the running time is now 42 to 45 minutes. So not just more adverts, it's less programme as well. I like Channel 4's A Place in the Sun. I like the presenters and enjoy the locations. The only thing that's letting it down for me is having a look around some mega-rich person's pad, showing how they waste money on unnecessary items at every opportunity. You know that pompous Range Rover ad, the one with the Range Rover Sport in Velocity Blue, driving across a chessboard, a hawk flying overhead, a magnificent Irish wolfhound named Mr. Moose, 2 alpacas and a dressage horse, and then the cars driven up the Victorian terrace steps at Harewood House, to a female looking through a telescope for said vehicle. Apparently the campaign theme, unmistakably Britishness, emphasising modern luxury and dynamic capability.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
On the telly, the Claudia Winkleman chat show is getting attacked by audiences and critics alike. I came across it by chance after work and watched for a few minutes, then went back to Bangers and Cash. I see Eamon Holmes has been in the news for being absent from his GB news show after reportedly falling to sleep on air. I haven't seen this one yet, but I've seen the promos for Celebrity Sabotage. I can't help think it's going to be a dire programme. Anything from you, Joyce, on TV?
I went for a day out to Kirby Moorside and ended up in Angus Ashworth's Yorkshire auction house. You will have to watch out for me when it's on.
When are you on? Do you know the date when you'll be on?
No, but it will be a very memorable show.
What, because you were on it?
No, because Angus sold a very unusual lot of a set of 19th century blue glass condom moulds which sold for £260. Oh, and you can spot me the Shipley blonde in my maximalist retro 80s blazer.
They have a cafe at the auction house. Did you get a bacon lasagna?
No, we went to the Feather and Beak in Kirkby Moorside, a fine dining boutique place. I had roast beef, Yorkshire pudding and donkey nose potatoes.
Sounds nice. What were those potatoes again? Talking of food and drink, I bought some St. Etienne lager at Aldi, only to find the cans are glued together. Nightmare separating them. I like the lager, but I won't be buying it.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Today's do-gooders, as mentioned in our Save Our NHS Dentists and Smile Like Donkeys spot, They are the Single Homeless Project, who are at shp.org.uk. What do? We help 10,000 Londoners in crisis every year to leave homelessness behind, to be seen, to be heard, and find a place to call home. Who are they? We began in 1975 when 6 homeless Londoners set out to challenge the system and make their vision of a safe place to live for everyone a reality. A lot has changed since then, but our spirit hasn't. Find out more, join in, help at Single Homeless Project, shp.org.uk.
Yabba dabba dabba doo, it's the Mike Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast for you.
Today's music quiz features a big dance party hit. What's the song and who performed it? The next stop that we make will be England. Tell all the folks in Russia and China too. Don't you know that it's time to get on board and let this train keep on riding on through? Well, name the song and the group.
I know it was Jeff Lynne and the Electric Light Orchestra and Last Train to London. Tell me I'm right.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
And if you're new to the Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast, you can still get to hear all previous episodes just by searching or shouting the Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast. You can also catch me on BCB 106.6 FM. That's on a Tuesday at midday at bcbradio.co.uk.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
And in our Here's Something You Don't Know spot, well, I was going to make this a regular spot on bad musicians. Not the flat note, off-key type, but bad uns. Carlo Gesolda, in 1590, the Renaissance composer, famously murdered his wife and her lover after catching them together, which is a bit extreme. A little more recent, and who would have thought? March 2001, John, Paul and Bradley from the pop group S Club 7 were apprehended by police as they walked through Covent Garden in London, openly smoking a marijuana joint. They were taken to Charing Cross police station, where they were held for several hours without being charged. Anything from you, Joyce?
I saw a story about them giving contraceptives to rats.
Yes, I saw that. In Birmingham, where rubbish collection has been reduced for a year due to ongoing strikes, residents report seeing rats as big as rabbits roaming the streets, and a giant rat measuring 22 inches from nose to tail, the size of a small cat, was found in a Yorkshire home last year. The number of these poison-resistant super rats is highest in the south and northwest of England and in Glasgow and Edinburgh, according to the trade body Rodenticide Resistance Action Committee. Using contraception in the war on rats might seem far-fetched, but scientists at the 10th International Conference on Wildlife Fertility Control, held in Barcelona in April, we'll hear about several promising research avenues. One such product, based on hormones similar to the contraceptive pill for humans, has been shown to work in maize farms in Tanzania, where it's reduced rodent numbers long term.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
These 4 people have never met before, but working as a team, they'll run the A&E department at this hospital.
Did you borrow that from Bradley?
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Benetton Health's recent adverts promote affordable private healthcare, highlighting a cost of less than £16 per person per month. With a Play on Your Health campaign emphasises accessible services including 24/7 GP access, mental health support and physiotherapy. So in my mind, sort of competing with the NHS services. So I asked asked the internet, how many ambulances do they have? And it said, based on the information available, it does not operate its own fleet of ambulances. Instead, it's a mutual society that provides private healthcare services, including access to a network of private hospitals, diagnosis, and 24/7 GP support. I then asked how many doctors they have. It said they do not publish a specific total number of doctors directly employed, as it operates primarily as a mutual organisation, providing access to private healthcare, including 24/7 GP service and a private hospital in Kent. It uses a network of experienced consultants for treatments rather than a fixed staff. You know those Boots and Specsavers adverts for a free hearing test? Well, if you do it through your NHS doctor, you get a free test and hearing aids when needed.
You know what they say, should have gone to the NHS.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Let's have a bit more stuff from those social media sites. Marina Purkis, when are we going to admit that billionairism is an illness? They are hoarders, no control, insatiable greed, and their hoarding just drains every one of us. They cut wages, buy politicians, and bleed the planet just to watch a number tick up that they never spend. Sick in the head. Jane, how can doctors take back control of the NHS? The people in charge do not appear to have patients' well-being as their primary concern. Good Law Project, the social media platform owned by the world's richest man, is carrying horrific posts that, having taken legal advice, we believe are illegal under the Online Safety Act. Scott GB, still find it wild that in the BBC's 100-year history there has never been a female Director General. DJ Hunter 6494, dear restaurant owners, we all hate QR code menus. Stop, everyone. Roger J. Henderson, can anyone explain why diesel is 12p per litre more at Tesco's in Ilkley than Tesco's in Skipton? Bagshaw 6975, £100 to fill up my car, but only £17 to fly to Ireland. Fabric Couturalist, a friend picked up his new Range Rover yesterday, 2 kilometres after driving it off the lot, and the engine light came on. The dealer towed it and gave him a loaner. The question is, how has Land Rover managed to be so incredibly bad at building cars, yet remain so desirable as a brand? There are very few companies that have stayed in business selling bad products at a premium for this long.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
You know they want us to go cashless so the banks can get a cut of every transaction and there's less need for high street bank branches.
Yabba dabba dabba doo, it's the Mike Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast for you.
Noticed more and more homeless types on mobile phones. Not saying it's a bad thing, just notice more doing it. Might be because of some of the cheap phone deals around at the moment. The cheapest text and talk focused tariff is likely from 1p Mobile, offering 1p per minute and 1p per text on a pay-as-you-go basis, ideal for low usage. For unlimited talk and text, Asda Mobile provides a dedicated talk and text plan for just £4 a month. Stolen pint glasses are costing pubs in the UK around £133 million a year, according to a report by Good Morning Britain. A survey by Simply Business showed that around 35% of Brits admitted to stealing a pint glass in the last year, resulting in a total of 38 million stolen glasses. 35% of Britons. I wonder how they work that out. A Guardian newspaper report says a 76-year-old Manchester United fan said he feels helpless and hopeless after being evicted from his seat his family have held since just after the Second World War to make way for £300 a head VIPs. Tony Riley, whose father-in-law played for United under Sir Matt Busby, is among 1,100 supporters forced to move under cash-boosting plans overseen by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. The prime seats near the dugout in the Sir Bobby Charlton stand, these seats will be relocated to hospitality from next season.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Fake Showbiz News at Fake Showbiz News. Price of the Netta ice cream soars to more than $100 per metre due to ongoing Middle East crisis, the highest level since June 2020. Jennifer Lopez reveals she's been helping a US company test out a new toilet that claims to completely eliminate poo smells, no matter how stinky. It's been quite good fun, actually. Lots of free curries, she grinned. Dame Kate Winslet says don't get too excited by a defibrillator being installed in your area. Judging by how long it takes people to use cash machines or McDonald's self-service, very few will be able to get it working within 5 minutes where it makes a difference. Jason Donovan says the total number of broken hearts in the world is now probably about right.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Don't forget, my pod-picking friends, if you want to get in touch about anything to do with the Shorter Than Short podcast show, please use the following to contact us. And if you have any stories, gossip, jokes or anything for the next episode, do connect and follow at MIKEDJKELLY on Blue Sky Social, and if you have time, it would be appreciated if you could give us a review on any of the usual feedback sites.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
Yes, the celebrity, born on the 23rd of April 1962, he is a Scottish film and TV actor. He came to prominence in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, for which he was nominated for the BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role as Matthew. His TV roles included Dr. Ian McCallum in McCallum, John Rebus in Rebus, Jake Osborne in Cold Blood, and many others. Who is he?
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
And a couple of those unbelievable stories. Sir Robert Devereux, the former permanent secretary of the Department for Work and Pensions, who oversaw pension reforms, including raising the state pension age to 67, retired in January 2018 at the age of 61. As a senior civil servant, he was eligible for a specific pension scheme different from the state pension, which he helped implement. That is, with a £1.8 million pension pot, it says he will receive £85,000 a year and a lump sum of £245,000. On the 9th of March, the reputation around low-cost airlines being cheap was cemented in the eyes of a plane full of passengers after bailiffs entered a Ryanair plane over €890 that the carrier has not paid to a traveller whose flight was delayed for more than 13 hours 2 years ago. As Ryanair does not carry cash on board, it could not provide the bailiff the funds aboard the aircraft, and so the bailiff ended up sticking a seizure label on the plane known as a cuckoo sticker. In local bankruptcy courts, it indicates that the company is under court order to pay a debt and that the plane can legally be seized as an asset if the sum is not reimbursed.
I have a tip for my Columbo-type fans who have a diet of boiled eggs. When hard-boiling eggs, add a dash of white vinegar to the water and shells practically slides off.
Recommend a pod, and this time It's Dave and Kuhn and the Two Parkies in a Pod, a Parkinson's podcast. If you want to know more about Parkinson's or how to cope with chronic illness, then this is the podcast for you. Between them, Clarky and Kuhn have been living with Parkinson's for more than 20 years. They chat openly and honestly about the challenges and even the benefits of living with the condition. It's also funny and entertaining. It's the Two Parkies in a Pod.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
Boris Bikes, Beryl Bikes. I'm sure most of the country is covered by these bike hiring schemes with their damaged and abandoned bikes all over the place. The London Cycle Hire scheme cost nearly 200 million within its first 8 years. The scheme is heavily subsidised by Transport for London despite income from rentals. More local to me is the Beryl e-bike scheme in Leeds. It is a £2.86 million project launched in September 2023. The system operates on a pay-as-you-go basis, costing £1 to unlock plus 17p per minute, with options for minute bundles. Quick look, and many online firms are selling good quality adult bikes for less than £150. Wouldn't it be cheaper to let every adult in the UK have a free bike rather than running these humongous schemes?
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
So, if the petrol in the pumps was refined weeks ago from oil extracted months ago, none of which came through the Straits of Hormuz, so why does it cost so much more than it did last week? As of early 2026, the tax on a litre of diesel oil in the UK is 52.95 pence per litre in fuel duty. On top of this, 20% VAT is applied to the total price, including duty, meaning tax, duty plus that typically make up roughly 40 to 50% of the total pump price. So it's not only the fuel companies profiteering from increased prices. And keeping with motoring, I'll tell you a crazy thing they've done in Headingley. It's to put double red lines at the side of the A660 Otley Road to stop vehicles stopping and blocking the road to through traffic. Yet at the same time, as part of this same scheme, some crackpot did away with the bus laybys. And now when any of the many bus services which run on this road stop at the stops, they block the road, which the red lines are stopping other people doing.
Yabba dabba dabba doo, it's the Mike Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast for you.
Noticed in the freezer section of Home Bargains that you can now buy McDonald's frozen chips. Not only that, they also sell Jolly Doggy Easter eggs made specially for dogs. I'm thinking of getting them for the kids and see if they notice.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
You know those TV funeral advert plans where you take them out to save the family worrying about paying? What they don't mention is, if you have no money or do not want to pay, councils provide paupers' funerals. It's a basic, dignified funeral arranged by the local authority when no one else is able or willing to pay. And still with those who are no longer with us, graves more than 100 years old could be reused across England and Wales under Law Commission proposals. That also includes reopening of some burial grounds closed under Victorian-era legislation. The changes could create a national framework for the first time, aiming to reduce pressure on burial space and modernise a system largely unchanged for more than 170 years. I think we can guess that those who are classed as important people, their graves won't be reused. Hartlepool Council stops residents from installing memorial benches after carrying out an audit. The council found some parts of the town were overwhelmed. A report found there were 150 memorial benches on the headland, 112 on Seaton Promenade, and 48 in Ward Jackson Park.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
If you want to get in touch with this top-rated and sometimes much listened listen to podcasts, please connect and get in touch about anything to do with the Shorter Than Short podcast. If you want a podcast making for your business or need any help with radio producer or presentation work, travel news, voiceover work, podcast editing, please do get in touch.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
And in the late news, Australian scientists have developed the world's first proof of concept quantum battery. Lidl is to start selling solar panels you can install yourself and plug directly into your power supply. MPs get a 3-course meal in the House of Commons canteen for £10 and it's open all hours. It's currently making a loss of £10 million a year. Notice that at Yorkshire Live News Service, the editor is called Wayne Anchors.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kelly. You are out of time. You must stop now.
Okay, it's time to go. Guess the song or name the group who had a hit with the song these lines came from. The next stop that we make will be England. Tell all the folks in Russia and China too. Don't you know that it's time to get on board and let this train keep on riding on through. Well, 1972, and it's the OJs with Love Train, written by Gamble and Huff. Guess the celebrity, born 23rd of April 1962. He is a Scottish film and TV actor. He came to prominence in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, for which he was nominated for the BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role as Matthew. His TV roles include Dr. Ian McCallum in McCallum, John Rebus in Rebus, and Jake Osborne in Cold Blood, and many others. Who is he? John David Hanna. Today's do-gooders are the Single Homeless Project, who are at shp.org.uk. And guess what? As ever, it's been an absolute blast. But that's enough for this Save Our NHS Dentists and Smile Like Donkeys edition of the crazy Shorter Than Short podcast show. From me, Mike Kelly.
And me, Joyce. Now I'm off to see if I can find an NHS dentist. Wish me luck.
Thanks for listening, and remember, you can always find the podcast by searching or shouting the Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast.
Save our NHS dentists to come join the crusade. So a trip to the chair doesn't bankrupt a decade. Put a smile on our faces, keep our teeth safe and bright. We want chompers so steady, we'll grin like a donkey, rather than dentures that are yellow and wonky. Keep the service alive like the drills hum along, and keep the whole nation's bright, healthy and strong.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Yabba dabba dabba doo, it's the Mike Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast for you.